This is Amash. The sign containing the sixth house. Lagna is Scorpio is Lord is in sixth itself. There is some problem. In what area of the body the problem is there? For that, decide based on the sixth house. The sign containing the sixth house.
Suppose sixth house is say Virgo.
Yeah, sixth house is Virgo. Then the body parts shown by Virgo. What are the body parts shown by Virgo? The lower abdomen,
Again,
the liver. Yeah, liver. Yes. But the problem with this is, it seems to be saying that based on the lagna, certain lagnas are prone to certain areas, basically certain area of the body. Perfect sense. You don't expect that kind of pattern. So the thing is, it is also conceivable that the sign contained by the sixth lord is to be seen instead of the sign containing the sixth house. But the words he used was Tadavrano bhavet dehe shashtha rasi samashrite. He is specifically what he is saying is sixth house. Samashrite means in the one containing the sixth sign. So he is saying the house only. He is saying the lord. Suppose you expect some problem. Occupying the just look at the Lord. They present both. Here now he is saying evam pitradi bhaveshah tattat karaka samyutta. in this verse he is talking about not just you, your relatives. Evam, like this, Pitradi Bhaveshaha means father etc. house lords. Lots of houses like father etc. like father, mother, brother, son, wife etc. So if you take the lord of any house, okay, or tattat karaka samyutaha. Evam Pitradi Bhaveshaha tattat karaka samyutaha Pranadhipa yutaschapi, okay. Pitradi Bhaveshaha tattat karaka samyutaha. Tattat karaka means the respective lords. Means for son, for father who is the karaka? Sun. For mother, moon. For brother, Mars. For elder brother, Jupiter. For son, Jupiter. Like that. You take the karaka and the lord of the house. If they are together, Pranadhika yutascha api. Now here he interpreted, he seemed to say Santanam. He seemed to say karaka of a relative or the lord of the house. He is saying or. But the thing is, what Parasara is saying is Pitradi Bhaveshaha tattat karaka samyutaha. So that means the lord of a house is with the karaka of that house. So there has to be a conjunction between them. So if, for example, the ninth lord is with sun, or the fourth lord is with moon, or the third lord is with Mars. Or seventh lord is with Venus. So of a house. The karaka as well as the lord of a particular house. Then or Shasthastama Yutayadi. Shasthastama Yutayadi. Or they are simply conjoining in the 6th and 8th house. Let me step back now. If the lord of a house or the karaka of any house showing a particular relative, either they should be conjoined by the 6th lord in any house, doesn't matter, or they should be in the 6th or 8th house, not necessarily conjoined by the 6th lord. Okay, so there are two parts, either conjoined by the 6th lord or being in the 6th or 8th house. Yadi teshamapi vranam vacyam means for them also you say there will be a wound or ulcer or cancer or some big problem in health. Okay, so for the person the 6th lord should be either in the 6th house or 8th house or lagna. For others, the lord of that particular house along with the karaka should be in the 6th or 8th or should conjoin the 6th lord anywhere. Okay, then there is a problem to either self or the corresponding relative. So this is the combination given by Parasara. And now he is saying Vatyam Adityena Sirovranam. If sun is the planet, so this list that he is giving now is not just for relatives, it is also for the previous verse where he said the person will have a. So Shastharasi Samasthite, I interpret containing the 6th house. So that Aditya Guruna Nasikayamcha. Guruna, Jupiter, the nose. Bhruguna Nayane Pade. Bhruguna means by Venus where? Nayane Pade means eyes and tongue. No, actually Pade is with the next word. So just Venus will give in the eyes. Pade Shanya means Saturn in the Pada means feet, in the foot area. You can basically be more liberal. Foot doesn't necessarily mean the bottom or the top. It could be knees as well, basically the bottom basically. So legs basically. So Saturn will give problem in the foot area, feet area. Venus in the eyes, Jupiter in the nose, Mercury in the stomach area, Mars in the throat area, Moon in the face area, Sun in the head area. Now Rahuna Kuksho means Rahu in the stomach area. So for Mercury he said Nabhi, the navel area. So basically here he is saying Kukshi for Rahu. So you could basically say for Mercury basically the lower abdomen, and for Rahu it is basically the actual digestive part, the upper stomach, and the internal stomach. Ketuna cha tatha bhavet. Ketu also the same way. So Rahu and Ketu in the stomach. Okay, so this is the list. So whenever you see an affliction to the sixth house, sixth lord, based on the verse earlier, based on the planet who's in the sixth house, you basically make the judgment based on whoever is in the sixth house. And similarly, in the case of father, let's say the ninth lord and son, let's say are together, and let's say they are in the sixth house or eighth house, or they are afflicted by the sixth lord. Then how do you apply this verse? How do you decide what part of the body father has problem in? It could depend on the sixth lord. So they are afflicted by the sixth lord. So that is the problem. Who is the sixth lord then? If he is son, then the problem may be in the head area. So that is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is just if you have the bad combination, see the planet who is basically dominating that bad combination. Apart from the sixth lord, maybe Saturn is aspecting that whole combination, making it more potent. So maybe Saturn will give the problem. So basically, don't basically convert this into a thumb rule, but this rule is a hint at what kind of areas of the body different planets like to afflict. So that is basically the purpose of these verses. So don't be dogmatic about applying this verse. My suggestion is, if you see in a particular chart, the ninth lord along with sun be, or just ninth lord, let us say, not even sun, let's say ninth lord is afflicted by the sixth lord, and let's say sun is in the sixth house, let's say both of them are afflicted even though they are not together, then see the common planet who is basically giving strife to both of them, and then based on it you can guess what is going on. And of course you could use this in Dvalashamsa as well, even though here he is talking about the Rashi chart, etc. There is no reason not to apply this to the Dvalashamsa chart. So if you see the Dvalashamsa chart, if you take the Lagna that shows father in the Dvalashamsa, what if the sixth lord there is in Lagna and the sixth house, let us say, contains a particular planet, or even the sixth lord if he is in Lagna, irrespective of who is in the sixth house, you could simply take the sixth lord. If the sixth lord is, let's say, Mars, maybe some throat problems are possible for father. You understand? So like that you can apply. So this is not just for Rashi chart. You could apply it to the charts where you see various relatives as well.
But Antardasa of the planet to see, or?
Yeah, you could see. You could definitely see the Dasas and Antardasas to trigger things. The next verse is Lagnadhivah kujakshetre Lagnadhivah kujakshetre bodhabhe yadi samsthitah yatra kutra sthito gnena vikshito mukharukradah. Okay. Lagnadhivah kujakshetre means the lord of Lagna is in a sign of Mars. Bodhabhe yadi samsthitah, or Bodhabhe means, Bha means Rashi, Bodhabhe means in a Rashi of Bodha. So in a sign owned by Mercury. So either Aries or Gemini or Virgo or Scorpio, these are the four signs. So these have been specifically pointed out as bad signs. So if the Lagna Lord is in one of these signs, Yatra Kutra Sthito Gnana Vikshito Mukharuk Pradaha. Yatra kutra sthito gnena means wherever he is, if he is aspected by Mercury. So if the Lagna Lord is either in Mercury sign or Mars sign, or if the Lagna Lord is aspected by Mercury, there can be problems in the face. There can be health problems relating to face. Mars is basically is a planet of disease. Mars is the Karaka of diseases, right? So Mars signs basically being problematic for Lagna Lord makes sense. Why Mercury signs are problematic? Yeah, he is the natural. In the natural zodiac, Gemini is the third house and Virgo is the sixth house. So he is the third and sixth lord for the natural zodiac. He is a functional malefic for the natural zodiac, right? Especially he is the sixth lord of the natural zodiac. So Mercury has a particularly important role to play in deciding these things. So that is the principle given by Parasara. The next principle is Lagnadhibhau kujabudhau chandrena yadi samyutau Lagnadhibhau kujabudhau chandrena yadi samyutau rahuna sharina sardham kushtham tatra vinirdishet. Wow. Lagnadhibhau kujabudhau means if Mars and Mercury, if they happen to be the Lagna lords, Chandrena yadi samyutau, and they are conjoined by Moon, Rahuna, Sharina, Sardham, and also with Rahu and Saturn. Kushtham tatra vinirdishet. Okay. So Lagna lord happens to be either Mars or Mercury, and he is conjoined by Moon, Rahu and Saturn. Then there is Kushtha. What is Kushtha? Leprosy. So this is a combination for leprosy. Unfortunately, these we learn, but we probably won't get to apply these because we probably don't have a lot of charts of people with leprosy. But if you are interested, there is one book on medical astrology by I think Jagannatha Rao. Jagannatha Rao, an astrologer from Bangalore. There is a book on medical astrology. I think it's just called Medical Astrology. So that is one book written with some guidance by Dr. Raman. Another one is you have medical astrology. I think you have a couple of books by Dr. K.S. Charak. So these are the books. So if you try those books, maybe there are some examples of leprosy. You can see if these combinations apply. Because several diseases are covered in those books and then some examples are given. Especially Jagannatha Rao's book may have an example of leprosy. Because he took several principles from the classics and applied them. Pardon me? No, you can't really treat them using astrology. You can treat them using medicine, using Ayurveda or using allopathy. But the thing is, if somebody hasn't developed leprosy yet, and you see this combination in the chart, you can say there is some danger of developing leprosy, so they can be extra careful. I don't know what causes leprosy. I mean, I don't know what causes most of the diseases. But if there are certain risk factors for various diseases, if you see the probability of a particular disease is high in a particular person, you can advise them so that they avoid the risk factors. For example, let's say somebody is prone to diabetes, and let's say eating a lot of sugar causes diabetes. I don't know if that is a proven fact or not, but let us say that is the case. You can tell the person, don't eat too much sugar. You have a chance of getting diabetes. So the person can take care so that he avoids diabetes. Of course, you can, apart from that, if you see that somebody is likely to have a lot of pitta rogas, you can tell them, don't eat very spicy food. Somebody may be eating a lot of spicy food. I know actually a lot of people who have strong pitta, who are prone to pitta rogas, they actually like spicy food. Spicy food is like poison for them, but they tend to like spicy food. And people for whom spicy food is good, kapha people for example, their nature is kapha, they like bland food, they don't really like spicy food, but spicy food is good for them. So unfortunately, the way we are created is, we tend to like things that are bad for us. We don't tend to like things that are good for us. So that the whole travel is basically, the whole travel of the soul in a particular body is challenging. Otherwise, If you are attracted towards what makes you perfect, everybody will become perfect very quickly. So there is some inherent obstacles created by God. Yeah, there are certain things like that. So people who, if you see that somebody is prone to getting pitta-rogas, especially if the dasha is coming up soon, you should tell them, man, you may get a lot of health problems. You must start eating bland food. Don't eat too much spice. Like that, in certain cases, just change of diet can make a lot of difference in the health condition. I mean, he may still get a pitta-roga if the chart says so, but it may be a small problem rather than a big problem. So when you can suggest a change in the diet, you can suggest a change in the diet, and when there are certain other precautions that can be taken, if that is the case for a particular disease, you can suggest them. But except that, if somebody is already diagnosed with the disease, you can't really find a cure based on the fact that he has Lagna Lord with Moon, Saturn and Rahu. You can't really do anything about it.
To go for a checkup, actually. Some people
Yeah, that's true. You can at least suggest.
Cancer, only they found during stage 4 stage like that.
Yeah, especially the thing is, things like leprosy, if somebody develops it, they probably will know very quickly. They are probably looking at it every day and wondering what is going on, and they know. But if somebody has probability of getting a cancer in the throat or cancer in the blood, for example, you see the Shashtamsha, Paryaya Dasha, and you see, let's say, Saturn and Rahu are together in the 6th house or 8th house, and you see that Dasha is running, and you suspect that some health problem may come for the person. I mean, if that is the case, you can tell them so that they take precautions, and also, like he said, get checked earlier, because if they delay, they may find out a cancer when it's too late. And especially these days, everywhere there is artificial stuff. We are eating artificial food. You take some convenience food that you eat, fast food, even the food that's considered to be safe and given to kids when they go to school, you give snacks to kids. The snacks you pack, you just check the ingredients. There are all kinds of arbitrary chemicals. And the thing is, unfortunately, I don't think the scientific community, even though FDA, etc., they have all kinds of regulations, I don't think they are really, it's all backed by thorough research. There is some selfishness, basically, some hurry, some haste is there. So people are eating poison. Every day people are eating poison in this age, in this country. And even in India it's happening now. People are feeding themselves poison on a continuous basis. And you take the chemicals with which you clean your vessels, clean all the household things, your kitchen table you clean, whatever, wherever you use, or your bathrooms, you use all kinds of chemicals which are filled with dangerous fumes, extremely dangerous chemicals, which basically in the last 30 years or so they became so prevalent. So everywhere you are, I had a friend who's from IIT Bombay, who studied in IIT Bombay. He's an engineer, chemical engineer, and he works for United Nations. And he told me this thermocol plates, which are very popular in US and apparently even in India now. You basically put stuff in it and put it in microwave. According to him, if you put it in microwave, even if a few molecules of that get into the food that you eat and they get into your body has no way to basically digest it or do anything with that. It will, based on your luck, it will just go somewhere in your body and those molecules will settle down somewhere and they can cause cancer. So according to him, you must avoid eating thermocol, eating food that is microwaved, or even just hot food that is placed directly in thermocol. According to him, it's dangerous. Or take another simple example. You use all these cups, all these porcelain cups, you put them in they are porous. If you look at the molecular structure, there are pores, and you put them in the dishwasher, you put these dishwashing liquids, and they have this petroleum, etc. They have all kinds of dangerous chemicals, and some molecules get into these pores in the cups, and when you microwave your milk or your coffee, those molecules get in. So every day you are consuming a lot of molecules of poisons.
Even the Rubbermaid, there is an article came out.
Yeah.
Rubbermaid boxes also
they are considered safe.
Microwave,
yeah.
It releases some chemicals.
Yeah, everything releases chemicals these days. Unfortunately, people have scientists have problem with all the iron etc. that they found in some Ayurvedic medicines. Maybe there are certain effects when you take iron in certain laboratory conditions into the body basically. Maybe they have an impact on the brain, but at least if you cook in iron vessels or copper vessels or gold vessels or silver vessels as in the past, the danger is actually much less than what we have now. So my point is, cancer is a very prevalent disease in this age, and my expectation is as days progress, as years progress, another 50 years from now, it will be even more prevalent. You will have small kids, 6-year, 7-year kids or 10-year kids who will be diagnosed with cancer. There is no other way basically. This is the path that we have taken for convenience, for easy lifestyle, for a fast lifestyle, and this will take its toll. So you should, if you see anybody with strong tamasic influence in the Shashtamsha as well as Rasi, you can suggest, you shouldn't scare them saying, oh, you'll get a cancer, man. That will be really scary. But you can gently suggest there is a chance of developing some kind of cancer, especially in this Dasa. So do checks regularly. For example, if somebody has a chance of getting colon cancer, let us say, somebody has Saturn and Rahu in Scorpio in the 6th house in T6, you suggest maybe there is a chance of getting colon cancer. So go for the checks, and maybe if they go for the checks, if they detect early, maybe they can cure. The next verse is Lagnadhipam vina lagne sitasche tamasa sesi Sweta koshtham tada krishna koshtham chasenna saha Lagnadhipam vina lagne. Without Lagna Lord, in Lagna, Sthitasche tamasa sesi. Sthitasche means Lagnadhipam vina lagne Sthitasche tamasa seti. Tamas means either it means a tamasic planet, or the way he used it, it seems like it is Rahu basically. For Rahu, the word tamas is used. So moon and Rahu are together. Lagnadhipam vina lagne siddhasya. Okay. So without the Lagna Lord, in Lagna, moon and Rahu are there. So basically, moon and Rahu are there in Lagna, but Lagna Lord is not there. Because if Lagna Lord is also there, he will keep them in control. And how does Santanam translate? If the moon is in the ascendant, which is not, however, Cancer, and be with Rahu, okay. It's not necessarily Cancer. If moon is in Lagna with Rahu, but the Lord of that sign, the dispositor of that sign is not there. That is what it means. Lagnadhipam vila lagne siddhasya tamasa sasi Sweta kushtham tada krishna kushtham cha sarinataha. Then you say Sweta kushtham. That means white leprosy. On the other hand, if Saturn is the planet, then it is black leprosy. I am not sure what black leprosy, dark leprosy and fair leprosy. It looks like there are two kinds of leprosy in the old days. I don't know, maybe now. I am not really knowledgeable on leprosy. But he seems to think that Saturn will give the darker variation and Rahu will give the fairer, the lighter variation of the leprosy. Kujena rakta koshtham syat tattadevam vicharayet. And by Mars, rakta koshtham means reddish, ruddy kind of leprosy with ruddy kind of complexion, reddish complexion. So he talked about three kinds of leprosy. Bottom line is, moon is the key planet. Moon is the key planet. For me, blood. Moon, the karaka of blood, is the key planet, and he has to be either with the Lagna Lord or in the Lagna, afflicted by Mars, Saturn, Rahu, etc. So that's the bottom line. Lagna Lord, Moon. They should be afflicted by Saturn, Rahu, etc. Then there is a problem of Kushtha.
Depletion also, right?
For me?
Depletion.
Not necessarily. Kushtha specifically means leprosy. I'm not, you are probably talking about thinking of some other word in your mind. I'm not sure what it is.
Depletion, something becoming small and
not necessarily.
Leprosy brings the organs small.
I see.
The deformation.
Yeah, it's a deformation. No, does something eat away the tissues? I see. I'm not actually sure what goes on, because you seem to be, there is something called gangrene. There you have basically something eating away the organ. I'm not sure if Kushtha is that. I'm not exactly sure. As far as I know, in Kushtha you have the discoloration and loss of some sense, some touch basically in that part. That is my understanding of kushta, but I'm not sure.
No, the leprosy is that the fingers and everything, what happens is that they deform. It loses the shape of the finger. It becomes...
I see.
Yeah, that's what...
I see.
in leprosy.
Okay.
Basically affects the fingers and...
You don't have the sensation of touch, right?
No, you don't have it.
It becomes gradually weaker.
Right.
Okay.
I believe one of the doctors, some philanthropist or people who service these people.
Yeah.
He used to, put bandage.
Yeah.
Because the rats used to eat the meat and all. They didn't know.
Yeah.
The patients.
Right.
Yeah. So he used to protect those. I don't know who, some doctor.
I see. I see. The next verse is Lagne Shasthashtamadhishau Ravina Yadi Samyutau Lagne Shasthashtamadhishau Ravina Yadi Samyutau Jwaragandah Kuje Granthi Shastra Vranamatha Piva Lagne Shasthashtamadhishau. In the Lagna, the 6th and 8th lords Ravina Yadi Samyutau, if they are with the sun. So now he is talking about 6th lord or 8th lord. Actually he is saying 6th and 8th lord. Actually it's not, it could be and or. He doesn't specify. So there are two interpretations possible. 6th lord and 8th lord should be in Lagna or one of them. My interpretation is one of them. So if the 6th lord or 8th lord, but the thing is, why is he mentioning it in the 6th lord chapter? That is the issue. But maybe he is combining 6th and 8th and generalizing even in the 6th house chapter. So if the 6th lord or the 8th lord is in Lagna and conjoined by sun, then Jwaragandah means there is a danger from Jwara. Jwara means fever. Kuje Granthi Shastra Vranamathaviva. Kuje means if Mars is the planet, then there are some blood problems relating to blood, or Shastra Vranam means, Shastra means a weapon basically, wound means, Vranam means wound. So a wound caused by a weapon. So either blood problems or wound caused by a weapon. That is given by Mars. Sun is fever. Budhena Pittam. Budha gives Pitta Vyadhi, a disease relating to Pitta. Guruna Rogabhavam Vinidishet. Guruna Rogabhavam means Jupiter, no disease. Freedom from disease. So even if 6th lord or 8th lord is in Lagna, if Jupiter is also there, he will rescue. That is the bottom line. Stribhi Shukrena. Stribhi means, Stribhi literally means by woman, but he seems to suggest some kind of sexual diseases, etc. So that kind of diseases if Venus is the planet, if Venus is with the 6th or 8th lord in Lagna. Shashina Vayuna Samyuto Yadi. Shashina Vayuna Samyuto Yadi. Shashi means
moon.
Shashina means moon. Shuktiribhi Shukrena Shashina Vayuna Samyuto Yadi. Gandas Chandalato Nabhau Tamah Ketu Yute Bhayam. Chandrena, he is saying Chandrena again. So, 1 second. Oh, that Shashina, he actually gave it as Saturn. So, he changed Shashina as Shanina. For me? Vayuna Samyuto Yadi. Vayuna means Vayu related diseases, windy diseases. Actually, Saturn giving windy complaints makes sense. So it is probably, only thing is Shashi Shanina. Okay, it could be a typo because he later says Chandrena. Chandra is covered later. So also saying Shashina doesn't make sense. So I think Santanam's correction is correct. So okay, let's go back. So we said Mercury will give Pitta related problems, Jupiter no problems, Venus sexual problems, sexual diseases, and Saturn will give gas and wind kind of problems, windy complaints. For example, arthritis is a windy problem. If there is a lot of wind in the nervous system and the muscular system, then you get pains in the joints, etc. So joint pains, arthritis, these are all basically windy problems, or even breathing problems, rheumatism, even nervous weakness. Basically, there is a lot of air in the lot of wind in the nervous system. There is a lot of anxiety, and because of the anxiety, overactiveness of the mind, unable to sleep, sleep deprivation, all these are basically vata problems. And in general, weakness and debilitation, these are all given by Saturn. Gandas Chandalato Nabho Tamas Ketu Yute. Okay. Gandas Chandalato means from Rahu. Gandas Chandalato Nabho Tamas Ketu Yute Bhayam. This is weird. One second. Gandas Chandalato, so a trouble from a Chandala, from a low caste person basically, a danger from a low caste person, Nabho. Nabho means in the navel. Danger from a low caste person in the navel, Tamah Ketu Yute Bhayam. Oh, I see. Okay. It probably means Tamah Ketu. He is combining Rahu and Ketu here. So, if Rahu or Ketu is involved, then there is a danger from a low caste person. Basically, quarrels with lowly people, perhaps. Nabho is weird. I mean, some problem in the navel area. Why Rahu and Ketu navel area? I am not sure. He is saying either problem with a Chandala or some kind of problem in the navel area. That is what he is saying. And Santanam translated as Rahu gives danger from so-called low caste men. Ketu says diseases of the navel. So he broke it up. That is also possible. So Ketu is Santanam's interpretation is Ketu gives problems in the navel area, and Rahu gives problems from low caste people. The next is Chandrena Ganda Salilaihi Khapa Slashmadina Bhavet. Chandrena, by moon, Ganda, danger, Salilaihi means waters. So water related problems. So maybe a lot of water accumulating in the lungs. I mean, not because you drowned in water, but simply you are kapha nature, so your lungs retain a lot of moisture, and because of it, you basically frequently get colds or get pneumonia, etc. Pneumonia, tuberculosis. So he says drowning, cough. Yeah, drowning is also possible actually. A danger of drowning is given by moon. Moon is the giver. Chandrena Gandha Salai Kapha Slashmadana Bhavet means there is a lot of phlegm in the body. So diseases relating to phlegm. Yavam Pitradibhanam Tattat Karaka Yogatah. Yavam Pitradibhanam Tattat Karaka Yogatah. Gandam Tesham Vade Devam Uhyamatra Manishibhi. Okay. Like this for father, etc. also, for those houses also, if the respective karakas are joined, then you can say the gandas, you can say the dangers. So the thing is, again, if the lord of a particular house joins the karaka of that particular house, and if those are basically conjoined by one of these planets, you expect a danger relating to one of these houses. So this can be applied to the native as well as parents, and you could perhaps apply in Dvadashamsa, Navamsa, Saptamsa, etc. for respective children, father, mother, etc.
It should not be with the Lagna Lord.
Pardon me?
Suppose for Virgo Lagna, Mars is 8th Lord.
Virgo Lagna, Mars is 8th Lord, yeah.
Aries Lagna, Mars is the 8th Lord.
Aries Lagna? Yeah, if he is Lagna Lord, then you rule it out. Then it's an exception. Whereas if it is Virgo Lagna and Mars is the 8th Lord, let's say he is in Lagna, then there is a problem. And the thing is, let's say Virgo Lagna, Mars is in Lagna along with Sun, then the problem is relating to Sun or Mars. The combination says If the 6th or 8th lord is in Lagna with Sun, this is the result, with Mars, this is the result. So the thing is, why should you only look at the planet who is with him? Why not look at the planet himself? So you can look at Mars himself and the planet with Mars. You can basically see who is dominating and also whose Dasha or Antardasha is running right now. So Mars may be in Lagna, he may be the 8th lord, but he may be with Moon. So right now there may be Kapha problem. Maybe there will be a wound later when the Mars Dasha comes. But maybe right now it is Moon Dasha. So maybe it is the time for Kapha problems. Okay. Okay, we will stop here so that we spend some time on the chart also. So if I get a computer, one second, let me stop this. Go ahead.
Somebody changes the name from some name to other name.
Okay.
So, like, will there be any significance? I mean, because the world is known by now new name.
Right.
And by drawing the chart based on when the name is changed, so what we can see the significance.
You can, I mean, drawing the chart when the name is changed probably does not really matter much.
Okay.
But the name itself, basically, what name the person is going by, that has an impact. Basically, what kind of energies in the chart this name is bringing out.
The new name?
The new name. But the thing is, I don't suggest all this numerology, taking the name, etc. If you write your name, Ramakrishna Rao, R-A-M-A, R has one value, A has one value, M has one value, all that is nonsense. That has basically no value, because just by spelling your name as R-A-M-A or R-J-A-M-A, you are not really making any difference. People will still call you Ramakrishna, right? There are all these stars who change name. Karina, K-A-R-G-E-N-A changes to K-A-R-I-G-N-A. But still people call her Karina. So the way people call her or people look at her, there is no difference. It's just an English language spelling. When you spell it in Telugu or Hindi, it looks exactly the same. So this is just too artificial, the way they change names now. But suppose somebody had a name Ramakrishna and changed it to Narayana. It's a different name. It has a different energy. So what kind of energy the name is bringing out? What is the meaning of the name? And what kind of planets basically or signs is basically bringing into focus. That is one thing you can look at. And also you can look at the sound basically. The first letter is always very important. The first letter in the name. So what kind of energies it is bringing out? Have I mentioned earlier? Each planet owns certain aksharas. Sun owns all the vowels, right? Sun owns the swaras, vowels. And what does Moon own? The semi-vowels. And kavarga, ka, kha, ga, gha, and the anunasika that goes along with them. Those are owned by Mars. They are very parusha, they are very, so you can guess, Mars. And cha, cha, ja, jha, the chavarga, those are ruled by Venus. Very soft kind of sounds. Then the tavarga, after that tavarga, ta, tha, da, dha, na, those sounds are ruled by Mercury. Ta, tha, da, dha, na, those sounds are ruled by Jupiter. And pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, those sounds are ruled by Saturn, the leftover person, Saturn. So these are basically the rulerships over the letters. Okay? And of course, Yara, Lava, Sasha, Saha, those are all basically, we club them as the semi-vowels, Yara, Lava, those. So those are ruled by Moon. So the thing is, vowels Sun, semi-vowels Moon, and Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga, Pavarga, those are Mars, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn. So this is the order. So, and of course, even within these there are further classifications. For example, in each Varga, if you take Kavarga, for example, you have Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. So one is basically again the Panchatattvas become the secondary rulers. Even though Jupiter owns, the Akash Tattva rules those letters, the secondary ruler is another Tattva. But let's not go there. Just take the first letter. That is always very useful. And apart from it, there is Vedic numerology. You can basically take the letters, there are values to the letters, you can come up with a name, there is an effective sign. We will probably do all that later. But for now, the most important factor when you are looking at the name is the first letter. And when it comes to giving name, there is this tradition of based on the 108 Navamsas, there are 108 letters basically. So for each nakshatra there are 4 letters. The first pada, second pada, the 4 padas are mapped to 4 letters. And people traditionally, where I come from in Andhra Pradesh, they name based on that. It's called Nama Nakshatras. It's not on the projector. So, but the thing is, my advice, my honest opinion is, there is nothing sacrosanct about that. That is not really, you don't necessarily have to advise people to name based on the nakshatra, based on the letter of the nakshatra pada, because that is simply a coding decoding scheme so that you remember the nakshatra. If somebody forgets the nakshatra, the astrologer can ask, okay, what is your name? Rama, okay, Ra, so and so, nakshatra, so and so, pada. So he knows, and then based on it, he can at least do your transits. If you don't have your chart, he can take your nakshatra and take transits from it. So for that convenience, for people to remember their nakshatra easy, they just had this scheme. When somebody is born, they go to the astrologer. He will say, give a name with this letter, they will give. And when they go back to astrologer after 20 years, he will say, what is the name? He will get the nakshatra back and give readings. It is as simple as that. So it's not really so important. On the other hand, the first letter, giving it to a planet who is really strong in the chart is very important. Suppose somebody has, let's say, Hamsa Yoga in the chart. Give a name that starts with Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Let's say somebody has Saturn giving a great yoga in the chart. Give a name that starts with Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma. Or let's say somebody has a yoga between, let's say, between a couple of planets. If possible, give a name that starts with those, the letters shown by those 2 planets, or at least a letter corresponding to one of the planets. Let's say somebody has a very strong sun, somebody has Aries Lagna with exalted sun in it. Then give a name that starts with vowel. Then that name will be very auspicious for that person. So like that you can. Pardon me? Who changed name? Yeah. Do you know his chart? Okay. Just see, Nagarjuna means he is bringing out Jupiter. He is bringing out Jupiter in his name. Yeah. From Venkata, he is changing it to Nagarjuna. So from a semi-vowel, from moon, he is going to Jupiter. So Venkateshwara Rao becomes Nagarjuna. So he from earlier moon was being strengthened by the name, by the way people call. They are basically calling your moon, basically strengthening your moon.
Because
now
that's basically the Rasi, right? The sign of the planet in Rasi, or
for me? No, not just that. See what house moon wants, how moon is. For example, in my chart, moon is in the 6th house. He is the 11th lord. He is a functional malefic. He is in the 6th house with Rahu. So a semi-vowel would be a bad idea for me, right? Of course, my name full name is Venkatram Narasimha Rao. So it starts with Va, a letter shown by moon. But the thing is, I go by as Narasimha. When I was running Saturn Dasa, when I took state first and all the stuff, when I went to IIT, when I had all the academic distinctions, I passed the Sanskrit exam, Sanskrit BA, when I was 10. When all that happened, I was running, I was known as PVR. People used to call me by my middle initials, PVR. So if a lot of people are calling me PVR, what is the energy that is being brought out? That of Saturn. And Saturn, he is basically my 5th lord. And he is giving Nijbhang Raj Yoga. So academic success, etc. may be basically given by Saturn. And of course, Saturn Dasa was running then, apart from people calling me by the Saturn 9 letter. But now I go by as Narasimha. 99% of the people call me Narasimha. After my education was over, after I started working, I go by as Narasimha. And Narasimha, what energy does it bring out? Na. Na is Jupiter. So Jupiter's energy is being brought out. So Jupiter is in the 2nd house. So I got more into astrology. As people started calling me Narasimha more, the astrologer Narasimha became stronger basically. So I got more into astrology, speaking more, etc. And also if you look at what else Jupiter stands for in my chart, there are so many other things that you will find. So like that.
I think there are 30 next step.
Oh, okay. So let us quickly. Okay, let's quickly go to. See, this way Sanjay ji, if he was named instead of Sa, if he was named with Na, it was Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na, it would have been so much better for him. Jupiter would have been brought out instead of Moon, who's in the 12th house. Okay, so which chart are we looking at? What? Okay, where is it?
One level up. Oh, yeah.
Vayali, okay. That is what I was asking earlier. Okay, let's make the chart. What is the data? Oh, function D, not control D. Okay, November 1965. Yeah, PM or AM? 7:57. MARUTE Maruteru. Okay, is it there in the atlas? Oh, it is there. It looks reasonable. Somewhere in Andhra. Somewhere in the Godavari, Srikakulam, West Godavari. Yeah. Okay. So let us save the chart first. So the data is November 11, 1965, 7:57 PM Indian Standard Time, 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT. Maruteru, 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 81 degrees 44 minutes east, 16 degrees 38 minutes north. Okay. Oh, you have Jupiter in Lagnam. Okay. I think we saw this chart before. Vijaya Putsakaila, right? I hope I spelled it right. Okay. Otherwise change it later. Okay. So you have to see my back now. I'll turn towards the screen myself. Okay. Because we can't get both in the laptop and the screen with this computer. So okay. So what is the question? Planning to sell a house. Okay. Not able to decide whether to do it this year. Okay. So you want to sell your house in the Acton area and move to some other area closer to the workplace of your husband, and you want to know whether this year is the right year or the next year for selling a house and also almost immediately buying a new house, if possible. Otherwise, you are open to staying in a rented apartment for a while you find a new house. But you want to sell the old house. Okay. Good, good. Okay, so that is the thing. So how should we look at that? Yeah, Jupiter, the Lagna, 7th Lord is in Lagna. So Drisapta Disamadasha is applicable. So let us use the Drisapta Disamadasha, the 72-year Dasha. What is the Dasha running right now? She is at the end of Moon Dasha. And then Mars Dasha will come. Okay. She is in Moon Rahu right now. Oh, okay. Okay. So at the end of Moon Rahu, both of them are in the 12th house, and soon Moon Sun will start. Okay. So she wants to know how Moon Sun is. How is Moon Sun in general? Looking at the Rashi, how is Moon Sun Dasha? Moon is in the 12th house. He is with Rahu. So in general, you would expect that Moon Dasha, 12th of course is spirituality, etc. So spiritually, they can be increased. Yes, he is exalted. But the thing is, he is also eclipsed by Rahu. But it is good for spiritual matters. But otherwise, some anxiety, some tensions are possible during the last 10 years. But how is Moon Sun? Sun is the 3rd Lord, and from Moon he is the 4th Lord. From Dasha Lord Moon, he is the 4th Lord of house in the 6th house in a Dosthana. So there is some chance of change of residence, right? But we only see some basic guideline in the Rashi. Let's go to D4. How is D4? How is Moon and how is Sun? Moon is in the 9th house with Ketu. Of course, it could mean settling abroad, etc. But that's not what we are looking at. We are looking at something very, very immediate. How is Moon Sun? From Moon, Sun is the 7th Lord in the 6th house, right? And from Lagna, Sun is the 3rd Lord. is there any chance of change of residence in Sun Antardasa? Is Sun showing any change of residence? What shows residence?
A4.
Pardon me?
A4.
A4. A4 is the residence, right? From A4, how is Sun looking? He is a Maraka, 8th Lord in the 7th house. Of course, Moon is also a Maraka, 7th Lord in the 2nd house. And Sun is 8th Lord in the 7th house, a stronger Maraka. 8th Lord in the 7th is always a strong Maraka. So, because the Dasa and Antardasa are those of Marakas, there is a chance during the Sun Antardasa of change in the residence. And he is, of course, he is aspecting the A4, so he can give a new residence also. Let us look at Narayan Dasa quickly, or actually let us quickly see Vimshottari Dasa. So, we see some indications. Let us keep it at the back of our mind. Look at other factors. What is the Vimshottari Dasa running right now? Saturn is running. And next year will be Saturn Mercury. Which has a better chance of change in residence? See, Mercury, he is the 6th Lord, he is Lagna Lord in the 12th house. Lagna Lord always shows a new beginning or auspicious things basically. But from A4, is he a Maraka? Does he show some instability relating to A4? He is the 9th and 6th Lord from A4 in the 5th house. So, he is in a trine from A4. He shows flourishing wherever the person is. He does not necessarily show changing. On the other hand, how is Saturn? He is the A4 Lord. He may show a new beginning relating to house, but he is in the 8th house. So, being in the 8th house from A4, he can show some instability relating to the residence, changing and then settling down in the new house. So, there is a chance actually before February, there is a better chance, right? Now, let us go to the Narayan Dasa, the clinching thing, and finally Tithi Ashtotri, if the battery is not over by then. Tithi Ashtotri, how is Narayan Dasa, how is Narayan Dasa right now? Oops, I keep pressing weird keys. So, until 2008 November, from 2005 November, it is Scorpio Dasa, right? So, Dasa running right now is that of Scorpio. And if you divide it into 3 1/3, the right now one is the middle 1/3, and after this November it will be the last 1/3. So, let us see whether middle 1/3 or last 1/3 has a better chance. First 1/3 will give the results of Scorpio itself, right? Second 1/3 will give the results of Lord, not Mars. Who is the Lord? Ketu. Ketu is the Lord. Okay? He is in Prushthodaya. So, Ketu will give results in the middle 1/3, and finally the last 1/3, which is aspect of Sun, that's it. So, the last 1/3 will give the aspects of Sun, and the middle 1/3 will give the results of Ketu. Okay. Unfortunately, both of them are conducive to a change of residence. Sun, he is basically a Maraka, right? He is a Maraka from A4, and he is aspecting the 11th from A4. He is aspecting the Badhakasthana from A4. So, he can give a change of residence. Whereas Ketu, he is the Badhakesha from A4, he is in a Marakasthana from A4 and joining another Maraka, Moon. So, both of them have a chance of giving a change of residence. But the thing is, Ketu in general, he is a more malefic planet. So, if there is some change and some instability relating to the change, like selling the house and not able to find a house immediately, living in an apartment for a while, and then even before they settle down fully, moving into another apartment, Ketu seems more likely. But before we conclude, because Sun is also a strong candidate, let us go to the Tithi Ashtotri. Before that, actually, how we looked at Saptadasa Samadasya. How long was Sanantadasa? We saw that Sanantadasa was running. Pardon me? It started. Did I make some mistake? No, I didn't. So, July 5 it will start and it will go on till next August. So, it does not really help. It could be next spring as well. So, let us go to Tithi Ashtotri. Tithi Pravesh. How is the year right now? Let us see until this November and after this November. Let us divide into 2 phases, okay, based on the Tithi Pravesh chart of this year and next year. So, how is Tithi Pravesh chart of this year, 2006-2008? In the Rashi charts, Lagna is Leo containing Saturn and Ketu, but more importantly, In the Chaturthamsa, first let us see the ruler of the year. Who is the ruler of the year? Saturn. She knows. Saturn, yes. So Saturn is the ruler of the year. And in Chaturthamsa, he is the Lagna Lord. And where is he placed? In 7th house. Where is A4? A4 is in the 8th house. If A4 is in the 8th house, is it possible that during that year there is a change of residence? Absolutely. A4 in the 8th is very conducive to A4 in the 8th or 12th is very conducive to a change of residence. And how is the 4th house? How is the 4th house? It contains Ketu, the planet of basically changes, sudden developments, etc. And moreover, which Arudha is there? Of course, Arudha Lagna is there, but what else? A8. So, A8 in 4th house, A4 in 8th house. There is a kind of, this is the kind of Parivartana we talked about earlier. What would that show? An almost guaranteed change of residence. Right? So, there is a very strong indication based on this Chaturthamsa. How sure are we of this Chaturthamsa? 5 minutes earlier and 25 minutes later, and you have done reasonable rectification earlier. Okay. So, let us take the time to be accurate. So, there is a very strong chance of change of residence during this year. And what are the dasas that are coming up? Sun Dasa we said will come up on July 5, right, based on the natal Trisaptal Samdasa. So, let us see what Dasa will be running then. At that time, Venus Dasa will be running. Venus Dasa based on Tithi Ashtotri of the annual chart. And after that, Sun Dasa. Pardon me? Where is Venus? He is the 4th lord in Manakarka Sthana. Can that show giving up one house? There is a definite chance. Moreover, he is with Mercury. If he exchanges results with Mercury, the 8th house basically, the 8th house of change, and also the two exchange that we talked about, the A4 being in the 8th house, A8 being in the 4th house, the lords of those two houses are Venus and Mercury. So, both of them are together in the 6th house of deaths, etc. So, it is possible that it will happen during the Venus Dasa. And what are the other likelihoods? Sun Dasa. How is Sun Dasa? It's so. Moon Dasa. Is there a chance of it happening in the Moon Dasa? He is the 6th lord, not necessarily. Yeah, he is the disposer of Venus and Mercury. Good point. And Mars. So, probably Moon Dasa has a chance, but Venus Dasa has a very strong chance. Venus Dasa has an extremely strong chance. Venus, Jupiter, Venus, Rahu, Venus particularly. So, there is a strong chance. But before we commit ourselves, before we give the prediction, let us see how is the next year. Who knows? It may be even better. How is this chart? Who is the ruler of the year? Can you tell us? Saturn again? So, she is under Saturn. No, Venus. So, Venus is the ruler of the year. And how is this year? How is A4? First, actually, before we see all that, let us note that Lagna contains Moon and Jupiter. Of course, 12th Lord and 8th Lord, which is changed, but bottom line is they are really friendly planets. Moon and Jupiter together is known as Gadkesari Yoga, and moreover, A9 is there, fortune, the Arudha of fortune. So, the thing is, she will be seen as somebody who is lucky next year, and she will be quite well known on account of her residence, etc. So, there is a chance that she will find a good house, a good buy during the next year. But let us see other things. How is A4? A4 is with A8 in a Dusthana again. But who's in A4? The Lagna Lord is in A4. On the other hand, the Lagna contains this nice Gatikesari Yoga. So my guess is actually, let's see one more thing. And how is the 4th house? Saturn and Ketu are in the 4th house. And the 4th Lord Mars, where is he? He is in the 5th house. So 4th Lord is in a 4th Lord, 1/4 Lord is in 4th house itself, but the stronger 4th Lord is in a trine. So 4th Lord is in a trine. Lagna contains the Arudha of Bhagya and contains Gatikesari Yoga, and Lagna Lord is in A4 and A8. Even though they are in a Dusthana, Lagna Lord is there. He is the one who wants to give auspicious results. So my guess is she may find a good house to move into next year basically. So she may have to basically live in an apartment for a few months, and it may be. So my feeling is this year, before sometime in July-August time frame, she may be able to sell the house and then move into an apartment, and after next October she may be able to find a good deal on a new house. And how are the dasas next year? Mars Dasa, the year will start with Mars Dasa, and then Mercury Dasa will come up. Mercury Dasa will come up, and then Saturn Dasa, and then Jupiter Dasa. See, Jupiter is in Lagna, right? Jupiter is in Lagna. He is the 8th Lord in Lagna, showing a change. And he is in J9. So Jupiter is one planet who can give a, and also he is the Lord of A3. So Jupiter is one planet who can give a change of residence, who can give a new house. Jupiter is one strong candidate. Moon Dasa is also a strong candidate. So basically it is possible that, for me, and of course Sun. Sun is the one who is actually in the A4. So Sun is actually a very strong candidate. So it is conceivable that she will move into a new house and maybe stay there for a year, or maybe till next spring and find a house in the spring. So these are the possibilities. My picks are February 14 to April 21 and August 16 to September 6 next year. So my feeling is, my advice is, looking at both the charts, my advice is, it is a very good idea to sell the house now, to put the house for sale. And the thing is, I know some houses that have been on the market for a long time, and I know some houses in my neighborhood which came up in the market, and within a couple of weeks they were just gone. So if you do your groundwork properly and price it properly, and also select a good muhurta to basically commit to putting the house on, if you for example sign a deal with a real estate agent, when you sign their agreement, basically that's a very important time. So if you select a good muhurta, there is a very strong chance that you will be able to sell within a couple of months. Before the end of August, there is a good chance that you will be able to sell. So this period, July-August, seems very conducive to selling the house. So all the best.
For that, we have to see whether somebody can sell the house. We have seen whether somebody can move out of the house. Right?
Yeah.
So somebody to sell the house means from A4, we have to see the 11th house.
For me?
So gains from the house.
Yeah. So you have to, okay, let's go back to the current year, right?
Is it okay to discuss?
Yeah. It is okay, that's why she asked.
Whether person can move out of the house, person can move with some problem.
Yeah. Right. See, we are talking about Venus Dasa, right? We said that Venus owns the 4th lord. 4th house which contains Ketu and A8, and he is with the 8th lord, which the lord of the 8th house which contains A4. But he is also A11 lord. And A11, is A11 well placed? Of course, A11 shows gains, and it is in the 9th house. If any Arudha Pada is in a trine from Lagna, that Arudha Pada is basically, it flourishes, it gains, right? So the fact that the 11 is in the 9th house shows that there can be some gains during this year on account of in the matter of residence. And Venus is the guy. Venus is the planet, not the guy, Rishi. Venus is the planet. Venus is the planet who owns that A11. So not only A8 change of residence, but A11 gains by selling the house is also possible. So it is likely that during Venus Dasa, actually the time is very short. August 5 it will end, not even end of August. So it is likely that in the month of July or early August, she may be able to actually find a buyer and be able to make a profit on the house and make money on the house and also move into an apartment. Ketu and A8 in 4th house, that shows moving into something smaller. And A11 in the 9th house, that shows gains. So my feeling is, don't buy a house, don't look for a house, wait, find an apartment and put it on the market. Don't even wait till Sun Dasa. This is July 5. Oh, you want to do it next month? Okay. Okay, good luck. Just find a good day. I wouldn't, even if you want to do it in August, it's not a bad idea. You do all your groundwork and put it on a sale. There is a very good chance. Don't miss the window. This is a very good window. To miss the window, it will be a little problem. Yeah, don't miss the window, because then Sun is not really conducive. It is basically Moon who's conducive, so you have to wait. But Venus is really strongly conducive, so you should try to take advantage of that. Any other questions? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Who is your Atmakarka? Moon. Okay. Yeah. Right. You are absolutely right. So, you have Libra Lagna in the Vimshamsa chart. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Let's also look at the Narayana. So you are running Moon Dasa, right? Moon is your Atmakarka, you said, and he is the 10th Lord. He is exalted 10th Lord, but he is also in Manakarka Sthana. 8th house is actually good. 8th house. For me? Yeah, it is fine. Moon in the 8th is excellent actually. So this is actually a very, spiritually this is a very, very important Dasa.
It's almost over 1 more year.
Yeah.
How will this my mark it's really very good period for me spiritually.
Yeah. Which is not surprising, but your concern is how will the Mars Dasha be? Will Mars Dasha also be good, or will Mars Dasha be not so good? See, the thing is, Moon not only is in the 8th house in Vimshamsa, in Rashi he is basically in the 12th house. So Moon is really, it's a priceless Dasha, it's an important Dasha. But how is Mars? See, Mars is the 6th and 11th Lord in the Rashi chart. I see, except Vimshamsa. Right. Yeah. So Mars. See, Mars is per se he is not really that conducive to spiritual life. He is basically the 6th Lord, 6th and 11th Lord, and he is with the, even though he is with the 12th Lord, they don't see each other eye to eye. So it's not like he's going to exchange Venus results and say, hey, I'll give the 5th house Mantra Sadhana and 12th house Moksha, I'll give you those results. It's not likely that Mars will do that. But the saving grace is, he is the dispositor of Ketu. He is the dispositor of Lagna Lord. The Lagna Lord is Mercury, right? So Lagna Lord joins Ketu, which basically shows some affinity to spirituality in general throughout life. Let me quickly check one thing. What is Mars? Is Dharkarka, okay? And Atmakarka is Moon, you said. And where is Moon in Navamsa? Okay, the 12th from me is Venus. So Ishtadevata is Venus. And where is Mars? He is in the 10th. Okay, good. Now, so going to the, pardon me? Yeah? Yes, he is the Lagna Lord in Navamsa, yes. He is the Lord of the dharmic essence of the person. Right. And moreover, like I was saying, he is the Lord of Ketu, he is the dispositor of Ketu. So that is his, that is the way he can basically be conducive to dharma, moksha. Otherwise, he may not. 6th and 11th Lord usually, especially if it is Mars, he just shows fighting wars and fighting with people, going after material things, etc. That is what he would normally show. But the fact that he is basically Ketu's dispositor. And also another important factor is, when you look at the 12th house, this is not Parasara chart, this is just my view, my Narasimha Rao's view, is you can also look from Ketu. Ketu is the Karka for moksha. Just as he said, 9th from Sun is father, 4th from Moon is mother, etc. You can take the 12th from Ketu for spirituality. And I will, in my reckoning, 12th from Ketu should be reckoned opposite, not the regular clockwise. So if you take the 12th from Ketu anti-clockwise, it is Sagittarius. So Venus and Mars are actually in the 12th from Ketu. So taking Ketu as Lagna, because he is stronger than, you can consider him to be stronger than Lagna. So if you take Ketu as the reference, the Lagna Lord Mars is in the 12th house. So that way also he is conducive. So in the Rasi chart, the basic things are there, nothing to be concerned. Basically, it will not be like the spiritual progress that has been made in Moon Dasha will come to a sudden screeching hard. It's not likely based on Rasi chart. Now let's see the Vimshamsa to be more sure. In the Vimshamsa, how is Mars? Pardon me? Mars is? Mars is the dispositor of Lagna Lord. Fine. What else? How is he? He is in the second house in own sign.
So will he change with Saturn?
Pardon me?
Will he exchange with results with Saturn?
Yeah, he should exchange with Saturn.
They're not
They are not
friends.
really friends, but the thing is, when it comes to spiritual matters, we are talking about a spiritual chart. They are not really enemies. They are like-minded, except that Mars wants you to do really rigorous sadhanas, which will basically pain you, whereas Saturn also wants you to do rigorous sadhanas, which will basically deplete you. The goal is basically the same. Both of them are very tamasic planets, so they basically show a very strenuous approach in the spiritual sadhana. It's not like you just sit down and spend 10 minutes and then go away. It's like you want to spend more time in meditation, etc. So I don't really consider them to be enemies in this particular chart. So they will basically exchange their results. So Saturn is Yokarka, and even if whether they exchange or not, Mars is not only in one sign, he is the dispositor of a Yokarka. And the thing is, both of them are aspecting Moon. Mars aspect on Moon will give stubbornness, determination, strong determination, and Mars aspect on Saturn will give, what will it give in Vimshamsa? Dispassion, detachment. So Saturn is conducive to detachment, Mars is conducive to forcefulness. So when Mars and Saturn are together and aspecting Moon, they will give, the person will make very fast progress towards detachment of the mind. So in my view, Mars Dasha is a very conducive Dasha. But before we pronounce the final result, look at Vimshamsa Narayan Dasha. How is this Dasha? See, Aries Dasha was a good Dasha because Aries contains the Lagna Lord, etc. But Taurus is the real Dasha. It is the real key Dasha because it contains the 8th Lord. And of course, its Lord is in the 7th house, 8th Lord in the 7th, Maraka, etc. But that's not bad. The death is not a bad thing as far as Vimshamsa is concerned. So, Taurus Dasha is actually a very, very favorable Dasha. And what results are being given now? Being a Prushthodaya Rasi, it will give its results in the last 1/3. The middle 1/3 will give the results of the Lord. Lord is also in Prushthodaya Rasi, Aries, right? You understand what I am saying? The sign will pick the 1/3, its 1/3 first. Being Prushthodaya, it will pick the last available. The Lord will come next. He is also in a Prushthodaya Rasi. So he will, out of the two remaining, the first and second, he will pick the last one, which is second. So Venus will give the results in the middle 1/3. So right now Venus results are being given. The results of Taurus itself will be given later. So in the beginning, the results of occupants and aspectors were given. Rahu, Ketu, Moon, etc. So overall, in my view, this entire Dasha is an awesome Dasha. And especially when the Dasha sign itself gives its results. What are the kind of results you should expect? Pardon me? Yeah, it's the 8th house. Severe tapascharya. 8th house is nothing but sadhana, tapascharya, penance. A5 is some mantra, some tangible mantras, etc., some mantra sadhana. So some mantras, some tapascharya, but it's a very severe sadhana. So I am not really concerned, even though Moon Dasha is getting over, Mars Dasha will start, and also Taurus Dasha is not over. The real crescendo of the Taurus Dasha is probably after 2008 March. So my view, Taurus Dasha will continue to be good. Until 2011 November, you will continue to make a lot of spiritual progress. And after that, what is the Dasa? Jaimini Dasa. How is Jaimini Dasa? Is the 9th house, Lord is in the 3rd house. What are the results you will get? Planet karma basically is the karaka of the 10th house, right? So my feeling is during this Dasa, and of course they are with UL. UL, what does UL show? Initiate, giving things to people. So we are talking about dharma, something organized, and we are talking about giving to people, and we are talking about 2 really sattvic planets in Sagittarius, a very fiery sign. So my feeling is you will be doing your own sadhana, basically alone in your own private room. Basically you will be doing until 2011, and my feeling is after 2011, between 2011 and 2017, you will be more in the open. Basically you will be under. See, the thing is they are also aspecting A9 and A10. There is a Rajoga between, there is a yoga between A9 and A10. The Lord is Jupiter, he exchanges just with Mercury. They are basically together, and they all aspect Gemini. So just to quickly give the summary, my feeling is after 2011 you will basically become more active in the society, do more religious activities, more organized religious activities, basically more organized activities. Right now, whether organized or not, more tapascharya, more sadhana, then more organized. But I don't really see any concern as far as Vimshamsa is concerned for the next several years, next decade. So it will, but this is the real key. 2000 November to 2011 November is the real important period. Basically, this is the turning period to realize your real potential, to realize who you are. So all the best. Very good. All the very best. And because Venus is the Ishtadevata, Mahalakshmi is a very important auspicious form. And even in the Vimshamsa, he is in the 12th from him. And another factor is, where is the Upada from moon? It is here. Okay, good. Very good. So Gemini also contains the Upada from moon. Upada from moon is very important for sadhana. For all the pujas etc. you do, the 12th from moon is very important, because moon is the karaka for mind. What is Vimshamsa? The chart of reaching the unknown, the chart of doing sadhana to understand where you came from, who you are. And moon there shows applying the mind in that process. And the 12th from moon shows giving up mind, not applying mind. As long as you say, I want to see Mahalakshmi, or I want to do this, I want to reach this, or you say, I want to get a siddhi, I want to do magic and influence people, whatever you are saying, as long as you want something and you are doing meditation, your mind is active, your mind is thinking of something. Whereas, if you really reach your goal, your mind is actually silent. The silence of the mind, or the relative silence of the mind, is the goal of all sadhana. As long as mind is active, you are still in the path. When mind becomes completely silent or partially silent, that is when you have actually reached the goal. So that is the goal of all sadhana, silence of the mind, shutting down the stupid mind. Then you know who you really are, otherwise mind keeps confusing you. So the 12th house of moksha, giving up, from mind is more important than from lagna. So 12th from moon, Upada, always look at that. It's a very important thing. So here, that is in Gemini. So it shows some results basically relating to that. So it is the next 10 years are very good. Just keep doing sadhana. For me, Mars is in Scorpio. See, I didn't do all that. 12th from moon is 7th house, so I look for A7. Right? 12th from moon is 7th from Lagna. Yeah, 12th house from moon. Take the 12th house from moon and take the Upada from it. Usually I see in my daily Tithi chart, whenever I have a really pleasant meditation, usually during the time, if I look at the Tithi Ashtotri Dasa in the daily Tithi chart, if I see, usually either the 12th house itself or the 12th Arudha from moon is involved, or 8th. So I see that 8th from moon, 12th from moon, and their arudhas. These are extremely conducive to very pleasant meditation. A meditation when you can, when nice things happen. So, of course, here if you look at the 8th house from moon, it contains Jupiter and Mercury. So the Lord of Gemini is in the 8th from Mercury, and Arudha, if you take, it is again in a mercurial sign. So Mercury is a very important planet. He is connecting all these vital things. So my feeling is, when the Gemini Dasa comes, things will be even better. Right now, basically, it is the time of sadhana. My feeling is Mercury Dasa may be the time when the results of the sadhana will come. But the thing is, it may or may not be in terms of any siddhis. Some people, when they do lot of meditation, whether they want it or not, they become endowed with some kind of attainment, some siddhis, basically, some psychic powers, some miraculous powers. So those you see from the 6th house. 6th house is the important house to see siddhis. And the thing is, my advice in general is, don't even think in those terms. If something happens, some miraculous thing happens, just accept that as part of the Maya. It is also part of the Maya. It is not worth clinging on to. If you develop an attachment to it, I can do this. Like that, if you think, it becomes a bondage and binds you for a long, long time. You may become a big person, a big spiritual person who is revered by a lot of people, but you don't reach there. You have to keep coming back. There's no point. So you shouldn't think in those terms. But anyway, the point I was going to make here is, the house that's being activated is 3rd and 9th, not the 6th house. So my feeling is, she will experience some silence of the mind in her sadhana, and she will basically become more organized, take more initiative, and become more involved in organized spirituality. But it may not be in terms of siddhis, etc. But but my feeling is, all the sadhana that you do till 2011, it will give its result after 2011. So good luck. It's actually a very interesting chart, very interesting Rasi and Vimshamsa chart. It's a very powerful Vimshamsa chart. Very good. So Lagna and Moon, both of them are in Venus signs. See, if you look at this Vimshamsa, both Lagna and Moon are in Venus signs. And if you take the 12th from Moon, it is basically containing Venus. Venus is in the 12th from Moon. So Venus is a very key planet in this particular chart. So when Venus is a key planet, Venus does not show dogmatism. So your spirituality, if you can cultivate a level of spirituality where you are not dogmatic, you don't really care about whether a flower is being used or something else is being used, or whether somebody is praying to Krishna or they are praying to Kali or they are praying to Krishna. If you don't care, that is better, because Venus likes, basically he could even embrace Danavas, he could teach the demons, so he doesn't like to distinguish. So if you like to distinguish, and for example, the other day I happened to go to a church for a party. There was a birthday party, there was some entertainment going on. I just felt like meditating. I went inside the church. It was a very nice cathedral, so I just sat inside. There was nobody to disturb. I just did my Gayatri Japam. It was very pleasant. It's a nice place. Some people, basically, the best spiritual activity of their life is happening there. The most dharmic thoughts that come to their mind ever come in that particular place. So there is some energy, obviously. It may not be as good as, for example, in Arunachalam in Tamil Nadu, but it's a reasonably nice place. But the thing is, when some people saw me, they were like, oh my God, they were doing this. They were basically touching their cheeks with their hands, as though it's some kind of offense that you have done. So that kind of attitude is not conducive if you have Venus as a key planet in your Vimshamsa chart. There is nothing wrong in, see, all paths finally lead to the same thing. But certain paths are shorter depending on who you are, what your previous karmas are. When you find a right guru, he tells you what you have done, so that you can start from there instead of going in wilderness and then coming back to that place and starting off much later. If you have the right guru, he gets you started quickly. But the thing is, whatever path you take, it leads to the same Brahman. What is called as Allah is nothing but Brahman.
I just wanted to ask, when will I find my guru?
Guru, Mercury, who is your Mercury is Bhratkaraka, right? Mercury is the Bhratkaraka. In Navamsa, where is he? He is in Sagittarius. Let's quickly look at Drigdasa. Okay, so let's look at the Drigdasa. For me, yeah, right now Taurus Narayan Dasa as per Vimshamsa, but let us see the Drigdasa. What is the Drigdasa you are running right now? You know what? This is a Swabhava Rashi, so you don't have the Drigdasa variation that I use. I'll see later. I'll answer in the next class. The thing is, Drigdasa, if you take the 9th house, 10th house and 11th house and see the signs aspected by them, it's a tricky thing because certain signs repeat and certain signs don't come ever. So you have to interpret Parasara in a different way. What I did here is I just took Sanjayji's interpretation. But later I got convinced that this is not right. So this Drigdasa given in the software is correct for mobile signs and fixed signs. But for dual signs, there is another variation that I have programmed based on my interpretation of what Parasara taught. And actually not only that, even not just the order, but certain other things are not right. Basically, even for other mobile and fixed signs, what Sanjayji taught is not right in my honest view. And also what Robert Koch, he wrote a book on spiritual astrology. I forget the title, but it's basically on spirituality. It's a very thick book, a very big compendium, and he has a big treatise on Drigdasa, but unfortunately I am 100% convinced that the calculations are all wrong, even though he uses my software. I am fully sure now, after I read Parasara, when I brought it up with Sanjayji, he mentioned that he was taught this in a very quick time by his gurus. He just took down some notes, but he said that he may have erred. He said, I am not 100% sure. And if Parasara has said otherwise, maybe I am wrong. He himself admitted to me privately. And Parasara is quite unambiguous in certain details, but for dual signs there is one ambiguous detail in which I have made my own interpretation. So based on it, I have a variation of Drigdasa that is calculated in my software, in my version. Eventually I will release it to the public, but if I release it without explanation, there will be confusion, so I haven't released it. So I will look at your Drigdasa, but that variation seems to be working nicely. So I will look at your Drigdasa. But the thing is, Mercury is the planet and he is with Jupiter. The Bhratkaraka is with natural Guru, basically, Jupiter. And they are in Sagittarius in Navamsa as well as Vimshamsa, right? If I remember right. So it shows the blessings of Guru. Who knows, they may already be there with you. You don't necessarily have to have a Guru standing in front of you or sitting in front of you. You may already have the blessings of your Guru. But the thing is, in Jaimini Dasa they may become more prominent, because Jaimini is directly aspected by Jupiter and Mercury. But the thing is, when the 9th Lord in Vimshamsa happens to be the Bhratkaraka and happens to be with Jupiter, happens to be in the 9th house of the natural zodiac, Sagittarius, and happens to be aspecting the 9th house, you don't really have to worry about Guru. The blessings of Guru will always be there throughout your life. So don't worry about it, just keep doing your sadhana. And it will become more prominent, more public, maybe in Jaimini Dasa. That is my feeling. Any other questions? Good. And by the way, because we talked about the names, nakshatras, Vijaya, what is the first letter? Which planet rules Va, Vakara? The letter Va, Moon. And how is Moon here? He is in the 12th house. He is in the 12th house with Rahu. So materially speaking, this name is not conducive to a lot of mental happiness. It's conducive to anxiety, ups and downs in life, etc. But the thing is, planets in the 12th house can give happiness, etc. if the person relocates from where the person is from. So after leaving the motherland, coming to US, the same moon, basically the same name can be conducive to happiness. But in general, apart from that small modifier, In general, this name is not really I'm not suggesting that you should change your name, because this is also conducive to spirituality, because Moon is in the 12th house. But basically, whenever people call her Vijaya, the energy of Moon, exalted Moon in the 12th house, is basically being provoked, being instigated a little bit, being increased a little bit. What would have been better? It's tough to say. I mean, if you want Jupiter's blessings in Lagna, you could have named with Tatha, Dadhana. But the thing is, he is Badhaka Lord anyway, so it's tough to say who is the planet who will materially. Of course, you could have gone with Mercurius letter. He is Lagna Lord, so that doesn't. Yeah, Saturn, he is ninth Lord in the 9th house, so fortune. So for fortune, Papa Babhama, there could have been the letter. It's not good, but still, but he is in Moola Trikona. So 9th Lord in Moola Trikona in 9th can be good for fortune, just for fortune. Okay. So with that, I will end the class today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti